iji igwe ekwo mmetụta obodo anyị mba anyị so ọ bịa n'aga in the minds of few and a lot of people joining in this dream. They can tie email so bụ Chineke anyị na-ekpesa ife ị na anyị nga ifu nta so bụkwara ife mbuto na anyị ifukwa nta anyị ife anyị arịdọ so anyị ife discuss wa ife niile tinyere anyị ekasa n'ime ya mejuwe n'uke Jesus. All the participants ka niile ha nọ Chineke anyị na-ekwuchi anyị n'ime ọbara Jesus. Let me tinye gị dị nke ọma mepụta mkpụrụ eji ịkụwa na anyị ọnụ ndị do transgenerational enweghị ike sọfụsị afọsị n'efa Jesus. Nara ekele Chineke dịka anyị na-edeclare meeting okwu n'efa nna na nke nwa na nke mmụọ nsọ. Amen.
Amen.
Just a brief ịnabata anyị niile na anyị mere recognize efa mbụ Nwobini Kenneth Omabe. I am not participating from California. Ịnabata anyị niile ndị Chineke bring you together to this call to change the narrative n'ebe anyị, having known that education is one of the core is the key bedrock with community development. So now so diko ganye mbiara ịkparịkọta ụka ga-eji se ọdụrụ anyị mma dụrụ ndị onwego anyị mma ma ndị eke ga-emu amụ na Chineke jekwa ịnọnyere anyị ma esi ife niile anyị ga-ekpa ọ bụrụ ife anyị ga-eki ntọ mịtakwa mkpụrụ ọma. Nna asọmpi niile welcome na ka niile ihe na-join anyị mere understand na-enwe ndị nwegba tight schedule but her people are try as her bụrụ part of this dream. Anyị na-asọ nnọọ na ka niile ihe na-participate na Chineke nọnyere anyị n'efa Jesus. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ken, for the wonderful prayers and welcome address. We'll just go ahead and start off with the journey so far for Onicha Education Foundation since inception, which is led by Engineer Chukwuma Obonna.
Thank you, Chidima.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm currently coordinating the foundation. And because we are behind time, let me stand on the protocols established. So if I think we are about 2 years now. So it's also good sending no mara ifeanyi meworo ifeanyi na chime. So that's why this presentation is coming on. So we call it the journey so far. In May 2020, na Facebook, Kenneth na Benison we conversation here na so Government College Afikpo Onicha Secondary Technical and Kenka main part of Onicha. So I saw Benison now, so people like Dr. Kura for engineer, you know, so they were just mentioning Chukwumanwosu, Afikpo, Ernest, Onwovoke, and so many lists from Government College Afikpo, and Kenneth now a list come and Kekwa from Onicha Secondary Technical, Steve Webo, you know, so the conversation was just going that way. Now both of them are my friends, so and you know, I cannot take sides, so I just jumped into the conversation and asked them, how about reinvigorating that passion in young people to pursue education? How about starting Onicha Education Foundation? Both of them just jumped in. In fact, immediately, Benison just donated 200,000 for us to start. So we went offline and created Facebook, WhatsApp groups, and we started the journey there. So in the process, I contacted Dr. Nathaniel Bassey, Engineer Ikechukwu, Engineer Chigozie Uneke, because no I'm banging on a photo around 2002. Now I already start one organization, finance organization. So I contacted them. So you can do it. And you remember that no way if any jolly to and some and I had interested, very much interested. So we now requested them to now be in the board of trustees, and they accepted, and they have been offering enormous support to this organization. So I was having conversation with them, and they were like, we could not succeed in 2002 because we didn't have much experience and we didn't have the money too. So we depended on the free will of people to really fund this organization. And they say, but now we can afford to fund some projects independently by just contributing among ourselves. And we've been doing that, and also hoping that people will see what we are doing and key into it. And I'm really very, very impressed because of how people have keyed into this. Professor Michael Akawa just heard about it, and he keyed into it and made a long-term donation to the organization up to 2014. This, helped us to understand that no windy in the community. We invited Professor Anthony in last year to speak, and he came, and he's also here today. Dr. Maxwell Mabe, he was so impressed by it, and even gave us some suggestions. Our keynote speaker, Professor Chigozie Obu, was so impressed. In fact, that 2002, Anyi Jerenke Professor Obu Mbokobu, Deputy Governor, so an he called us into his house and encouraged us not to give up. And that is why in inviting him, we reminded him that telling us not to give up, that we should pursue this type of thing, no ginyere the community. That is why we are here, and we have the honor of having him here today to deliver the keynote speech. Now, the progress these wonderful people accepted to be BOT members, and that implies serious hard work, serious commitment, serious sacrifice on their part from all dimensions. Now we have been able to register the organization with CSC, so our organization is now an entity, and we can now begin to explore opportunities that NGOs and non-profit organizations have access globally, not just in Ebonyi State or nationally, globally. Now, I just want to highlight key things because of time. I just have a few minutes. I want to highlight some of the things we plan to do and what we have achieved. On this slide, we have, I hope we can see the slide, please.
Yeah, we can see.
Yes,
thank you very much. Thank you very much. On this slide, one of the key things we want to achieve is mentoring. So by mentoring, we want to guide the younger ones in the right direction and also inspire them to aspire towards something significant, towards bigger dreams. So that's what we want to do. The first major thing, because and when so school, has some namado serious. So if somebody has the passion to go to school, you just need minimal amount of money to take the person through school. So the fundamental thing is inspiration. And so far, what we have done is to support people to apply for scholarship. In fact, Onicha may be lucky to win PTDF scholarship too, because out of Ebonyi State shortlist, 6 persons were shortlisted from Onicha community through our support in OEF. And that is about, they usually give about 4 persons for masters for each state. So that's if they give us 2, that's a significant achievement. Now, we are also launching scholarships, awards, and competition. So far, we've done a scholarship for girls. The award will be given today. We have done an annual technical writing where we invite undergraduates and postgraduate students to write so that they will be giving feedback so that they can improve in their writing skills. We have also done OEF final year research grants. Chinyere Obase won it, and Chinyere has done so much, so much. Have research will help us to shape our policies and strategies, and it will also help us to engage other stakeholders. We have a OEF community forum. We have a forum and virtual interaction and annual report. So if you want to read our annual report, 2021 is there. You can email us and we'll send it to you. So this is just a snapshot from just to tell you how we want to proceed. We want to proceed using evidence-based. We don't just want to assume that we know what is happening in the schools, in the community, and we just think up something and begin to do them. No, we want to interact with the teachers. We want to interact with the community. We want to know what they want. We want to know what the problems are so that we can solve it. Because if we can define the problem succinctly, it will now help us to be more efficient and effective in meeting those problems. Now, this is just a snapshot from what Chinyere was trying to do. So many things, but what we can say is that we have been talking about deploying e-learning resources, buying computers and internet. If you can look at this slide, you can see that all the schools say that they don't have sustainable electricity. So it would now help us to now start thinking about how we can provide electricity, because all electronics run on electricity. So this is very, very, very fundamental, and we are going to take them into account in our intervention in the community, because we can now understand better what the teachers are saying and what they want from us. This is the secondary school data. The same thing. There are so much insights to draw from this. And I want to use this opportunity to thank all the head teachers and principals in Onicha community. This is a co-creation. This is a co-production of good, public good. So it's not that OEF want to come and do something. No, we want everybody to be involved so that if we see something we can do, we can put it on this platform and now deliver it to the community. That is what OEF is all about. It's not an organization that some people are running. No, it's a platform that some people have volunteered to create for the community, so that anybody that has anything to do with inspiring young ones, giving them award, scholarship, bursary, can put it into EF, and we can now use our system to make sure that the right people get it and that everything is transparent and that the impact expected is made. So this is going forward. Let me just talk about what we are still thinking about. I've talked about what we've done. This is what we are still thinking about. One of the key things we are thinking about is what we call resource sharing program. Now, during the research, Chinyere divided the community into 5 zones. So what we want to do is to now start establishing hubs in those 5 zones, so that that school ngable center each of the zone. Onye need oge wota nehu. Yebro calculator, yebro massage, anything at all. Also, we are also looking at a situation where we can now integrate that program on our website, so that we can now, you can tell which books are available in each center. So this is really good, because quality textbooks that are lying in our homes can now be brought out, so that we can now use it. Another thing we are thinking about, establish a loan, and that loan will be
Engineer, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So I said that the resource sharing program, the concept is this. Onye ngurure ekwe need here, numunete ege more secondary school. Actually, the ekwe was in that center. That center will now give it to the people need here. Her guru ha return. Sometimes I now start a new textbook, tiene de pool. enable here. So we'll be sharing that resources within the community. So in with our laptop, a deposit here and strategically in those centers. The primary school have many computing. If they don't have, we can charge it. They come and take it and do their practice. Return well. So we keep sharing resources until and with how much resources to make sure that each school hand with their own. Another one, student loan. So that student loan, Onicha University, OEF can afford living expenses more school fees. So we pay, let Onyo refund the money. Why Onyo without interest? Why Onyo refund? So that others can now borrow the same money and fund their school, return the money, and we have a plan to keep 20% of our donations for some of these programs. So that will create sustainability and make sure that we always have money to support people. The second thing is application of grant. It's not just getting money from the community. We also have a hope of applying to United States government, UK government. There are programs everywhere worldwide that we can now tap into to get money into the community. So we are also intending to establish a motivation award for teachers to recognize them because the teachers are doing so much. And we want a situation where they can be recognized in the community and motivated to do more. So we have a website that is coming up. It will help us to interface with the community and also the general public. So our research plan, what we found out, we will work with the teachers and see how we can write to the state government to help provide teachers for where they reported that they don't have teachers, and also to write to the Ebonyi State government to recommend how our research can help to improve education in Ebonyi State. So this is the OEF scholarship for girls, the last competition they did. You can see the condition under which they wrote the exam. So anybody that is called today as the winner really won. Thank you so much. This is our annual report, a snapshot of it. And just as I was saying, we don't want this thing to be a burden to the community. So we are not coming to ask you to donate money. No, that's not what we want to do. Just imagine in 2022, our budget was 900,000. As we speak, we have received both internal and external donation. I'm talking about cash, 856. So we've done about 95%. And I can assure you that before this year ends, we'll meet 100% of our budget for this year. So what we are talking about is creating value, because we want to create a sustainable system that can help to, continue to support education in our community. And that is why we are being systematic about it, carrying out research to generate evidence, and also working with the teachers, the community heads, and other people to really advise us on because we are volunteers. This is yours. OEF is yours, it's not ours. I just want you to know that we mean it. So this is a platform. If you want to launch a bursary or a scholarship in your name or in the name of your family, you just, launch it on this platform, and this platform will manage it in your name. So this is the kind of thing we are imagining. So it's not something that is not a normal meeting we do and we say we don't want these people, we want this kind of person. No, OEF is open to everybody, anywhere, as long as you are from the community. So we want to use this opportunity to thank Professor Michael Akawangu for his sustainable funding. I told you that he said he's going to be giving us money every year from now to 2040. You can imagine that kind of support. Dr. Maxwell Amabe said he's going to be giving us 100,000 every year, up to 10 years, that's 1 million naira. So you see a lot of people. Mrs. Pamela Ajawanchuku, he said, use our school. That's where we are now, and that's where we did our scholarship. Ferdinand Ojo, the same thing, giving us. What about the Presbyterian Church, Reverend Clement Obasi? He's giving us the church to use. So this is what we mean by about looking at the resources in the community and using it to drive educational development. It's not all about money. No, this is not all about money. It's all about identifying values in the community that can support educational development, and now systemizing those values to make sure that those that want to be supported, that needs to be supported, are supported. We also thank Honorable Linus Francis Aka is from Akeze, SP of Government College, my state. He just heard about it, from another community, and he donated 50,000 for this. So Chinyere Obasi is carrying out research. The head teachers, all of them, fantastic support from all the head teachers and principals and teachers from the secondary schools in the community, and as well as the primary schools. And the BOTs, I cannot thank them enough, and the members for the sacrifice and the dedication. I also want to use this opportunity to thank all the speakers for this year. Time will fail me to start listing them. They will be introduced with time. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. So this is our email. If you have any suggestion, any question or anything, please feel free to contact me, and or contact us, because if you send an email there, our BOT members will see it. I don't know whether I'm still within time, Chidinma.
No, engineer. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. Today, it's so amazing. Last year we were here, and this year again, we are back again with so much progress. To everybody that have contributed, made inputs, volunteered their time, we say thank you very much on behalf of Onicha Education Foundation. And we believe and we know that this will go far, and this will make greater impact in our community and among the students. We'd like to take this opportunity to quickly introduce the dignitaries here in our case. We'll first start with Engineer Professor Ogbonnachukwu, Dr. Ogbonnayawota, Professor Anthony Ani, Professor Chigozie Obu, who is our keynote speaker, Dr. Nathaniel Obasi, Professor Michael Akanwa Ngbu. Thank you so much for making our time to be here. We will quickly go over to the keynote address, which is scheduled to be presented by Professor Chigozie Obu. I think he's being represented by
Engineer Professor
Ogbonnachukwu. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Let me do a very quick one, because I have radio program, phone-in program in about 30 minutes. So what I want to do now is to quickly share my slide. I don't know whether we are seeing it. Can we view it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We are seeing it, but it's tiny on my side.
It's what? It's small?
It's very tiny. The headers are not visible as such.
Okay.
Just to click, there's an icon at the lower end where you're going to click.
Okay. Is it better now?
It appears has stopped sharing.
Touch the sharing button.
Stopped. So go back to share again.
Wow.
Prof, I guess you should continue so that Melwandi program they can send it to us.
If you can just share, then
you can unshare and share again. If
I think we can go ahead with.
Okay, we can see your screen now. You can open the very slide.
Okay. So can I talk now?
Yes, Prof.
Yes. you can start talking, even though your slide is not yet open. It's just the screen of your laptop we are seeing.
Yes. Okay. Let me do something. Okay.
Just to double click on the very slide on that screen. Ready to open. Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes, we can see the slides. Yes.
Okay. Let me just quickly thank the organizers of this program. I want to also say that knowing about it for the very first time. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Prof, I don't know if maybe you can just go ahead and start presenting since the slides are not.
So the slides are showing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As I was trying to say, I am a stand-in keynote speaker. Our leader, His Excellency, Professor Chigozie told me he will be unavoidably absent, that I should stand in for him. Now, whatever I'm going to say here is purely my thought, not his thought, because I penned everything I'm going to say. I want to, like I said before, thank the organizers of this program for a project like this. I'm knowing about it for the very first time. However, when he asked me to stand in for him, I quickly said, okay, I will, since it's within the time I can squeeze out, attend to it. The team is systemizing multifaceted resources for educational development of Onicha. By my training as an engineer, we normally first of all define or explain the terms we are working with, so that from the beginning, we can be sure that people understand what we are talking about. The word systemizing has to do with arranging a definite plan or order. Multifaceted talks about having many different aspects or sides. So we are thinking of systemizing multifaceted resources. And the resource is a supply of money, could be material, staff, etc., that can be drawn on by a person or organization in order to function effectively. The word education relates to the provision of education or that which is intended to educate or enlighten. Then development is an event constituting a new stage in a changing situation. The Onicha represent a group of persons whose origin is the geographical space called Onicha Education clan. They are the grandchildren of Isaiah Zekona. So when I put this in together, my question now is, and that's what I want to look at, how do we organize in a definite pattern different resources, which can be human and non-human, to develop education in Onicha clan? And I want to say this To begin, I want us to know that education is not cheap, but the cost of ignorance is far expensive. Having said that, I want to look at about 7 thematic areas to make my presentation in a headed manner. So the first thing I want to look at is the current socioeconomic status in Onicha relative to Ebonyi State, relative to Southeast and Nigeria. What is the current status, socioeconomic status of Onicha people, because that has a strong bearing to education. Socioeconomic status is the social standing or class of an individual or group. The indicators of socioeconomic status include housing conditions, occupation, wealth levels, and education. Just like any other rural setting, the socioeconomic status in Onicha relative to Ebonyi, Southeast, and Nigeria in general is not significantly different. So Onicha is not the worst when compared to other communities in Ebonyi, Southeast, and Nigeria in general in terms of socioeconomic status. We are not doing badly. The second thing I want to look at is the status of educational institutions in Onicha. I want to look at basic or pre-primary education institutions. What has happened is that individuals establish basic schools in Onicha. We also have faith-based basic schools in Onicha. But the worrisome thing about it is that the input and output of these basic schools are unknown because the facilities in these basic schools are questionable. I want to quickly look at primary to secondary educational institutions. As at yesterday, there are 16 public and 2 private primary schools, and the 9 made up of 4 public and 5 private secondary schools in Onicha clan. When we talk of these schools, we are talking of those that are duly registered with the Federal Ministry of Education in Ebonyi State. So it's possible you may count more, but what we consider are the recognized ones that are duly registered. Some of the institutions mentioned above are private or faith-based and community or government-owned. The resources, both human and infrastructure, are inadequate. There are lots of infrastructural decays and deficits. Like I said at the beginning, this is my first time of participating in this OEF or knowing about it, and I said this is purely my thought. So I was thinking of providing what the General House at the end of this summit will begin to look at if we must develop Onicha, or develop educationally more than where we are now. I look at tertiary, technical to vocational educational institutions. Vocational education, we know, is a form of education that is focused on direct and practical training for a specific trade or craft. It may come in the form of an apprenticeship or internship. But as I speak, unless in Onicha, there's also no tertiary educational institution. We go to the third thematic area. I want to look at the glory days and successes of education in Onicha. We can trace that back to the coming of the white man and the founding of Onicha Central School and the other primary schools in Onicha. In those days, there were healthy competitions in sports and academics. And in those glorious days and successes of education in Onicha, eminent personalities such as late Ezogo Aris Mwobana, late Honorable Mwogag, late Barisaris Mwite, late Professor Bu, late Professor Diwa Agbafo, late Chief Mangwaj, late Dr. Agbafigwe, late Professor Mwachku, etc. They were produced in those glorious days of education in Onicha. And I say, may their souls continue to rest in peace. Others are Ezogo, Dr. Gomez, Professor Chigozie Obu, Professor Antonio Korean, Professor Bonna Igwe, Professor Obuna, Dr. Dan Okoro, Dr. Boni Amota, Dr. Chikodre Nwangu, Dr. Chemeka Okoro. I'm just mentioning a few out of the many. These are the products of the glorious days and success of education in Onicha, where there was healthy competition to excel in academics. However, education in Onicha has sadly become a shadow itself and is currently subsumed under the preference for quantity over quality. My question now is why? And that is a topic we need to discuss. 4, why education is especially important to the development and future of Onicha. Of course, we always say that the importance of education, just like other factors, cannot be overemphasized. In discussing the importance of education to the healthy development of Onicha and in the future, the following ladies come to mind: provision of employment, thereby increasing the chances for a better life; economic growth and development by providing efficient, competent, and skilled manpower; technological advancement leading to increased production and overall development; human capital development by inculcating in individuals those values which make for citizenship, such as honesty, selflessness, dedication, tolerance, hard work, and personal integrity; promote social and group relationship by training individuals to relate and meaningfully with others in society; entrepreneurial development by raising creative and productive young entrepreneurs, which will become employers of labor. Just like the OEF and the story of how it came to be was mentioned by the last speaker, I know that what took them to that point is because of the level of education they have attained. Whatever they are doing so far is essentially selfless. So I want to look at how can the Onicha and diaspora mobilize resources from the multifaceted resources to make quality education available, not only available, but accessible to the Onicha. I think one of the ways is that contribution from well-to-do philanthropic individuals. The fact that you are well-to-do does not mean you are a philanthropist. There are some people that are well-to-do, but they don't have philanthropic spirit. Contribution from village and town unions associations. Introduction of education levy or tax is possible. Offer of scholarship by individuals, village to town unions, and churches. Those are the ways the diaspora Onichans can also help. Now let me look at the 6th thematic area, that the role of Onicha and diaspora in resource mobilization for systemic and sustainable educational development in Onicha. I want to look at the word diaspora, which is used to refer to a group of people settled away from their ancestral home. Even if you are in Abakaliki, you can be considered as an Onichan in diaspora. as far as you are settled away from your ancestral homeland. There was mass exodus from Onicha that occurred during the time of when going to Lagos was the order of the day, especially in the late 70s and the early 80s. Migration to Abuja followed after the movement of political capital of Nigeria from Lagos to Abuja. Social and economic reason wasn't the mass exodus, and this in turn weakened educational attendance in Onicha. So what in the Onicha and diaspora must do? My suggestions: investing in education at home by establishing standard educational institutions, establishment of entrepreneurial institutions, both formal and informal, pulling resources together to offer scholarship, basic infrastructure and services, classrooms, and other standard facilities. Creation of educational development funds such as foundations, mobilizing financial resources of the diaspora towards shared educational goals will significantly help education in Onicha. Like I said before, some of these things I'm mentioning here appears to be what OEF is already engaged in. Like I said, I never know about the activities and other things. When I was just asked to give keynote, I sat down and I began to think, what am I going to tell my people? The last point, that is 7, importance of partnership among Onicha clan, diaspora, and the home organizations or government in educational development of Onitsha. There's a need for partnership. When two parties come together for the common good of a school or to enhance student learning, we are now talking of educational partnership. Partners can include anyone who is interested in or committed to enriching educational experience of students, families, schools, and the community. Increasingly, partnerships are essential to efforts to expand when, where, how, and what students learn. The diaspora should be considered not just as sources of funding, financing. And that's what I have to point out here. When we talk of diaspora, everything we think those people outside the country. That's not essential meaning. So we should not be considered as partners only in finance, and better partners in development of Onitsha. Highly qualified experts, those of you outside in the diaspora, could be engaged without the need of fiscal relocation. There can be a form of network instead of as individuals, and enabled to render services through virtual interaction, just like we are doing this morning. And shared educational vision among Onicha clan, diaspora, and home organizations will be a way forward. In conclusion, I want to conclude this keynote as follows. Number 1, 3 kinds of resources are necessary to develop quality formal and non-formal programs. And these are human, material, and financial resources. These must be harnessed and judiciously used for the benefit of all. Currently, there is no technical or vocational tertiary institution in Onitsha. Onichans in diaspora are called upon, either singly or jointly, to worry in that direction. It's my wish that this clarion call will be answered. Thank you for listening.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Engineer Professor Chukwu. We cannot say thank you enough. Na anyị niile nọ n'aka na-ekelekwa Professor Chigozie Obu for the wonderful keynote speech, quite insightful, powerful messages, especially the recommendations which we will consider and also share with our brothers and sisters who are not here today. Thank you once more, Prof. We really, really appreciate your presence, your time, and we'll go ahead to the next agenda on our list. We'll call on Dr. Ogbonnaya Nwota. He will be speaking on the strategic benefits of educationally empowered communities. Over to you, Dr. Nwata.
Good morning, our beautiful MC, and indeed other presenters and the participants.
Yes, sir.
Very much, very much.
Carry on.
Okay.
Hey, Hunter, why do you choose doctor instead of all those titles? Why did you choose doctor? Good morning, everyone.
Wow.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Ogam Magbakaneka, very senior guys. Epambo Ogbonne Nwota. Mbo Onyanwe, I'm a police officer. CSP Ogbonne Nwota. I got my PhD this year in human security and counterterrorism. So, and the prof has done a very beautiful work because now we operationalize some of the concepts that we've been trying to, deconstruct in the course of this discourse and interaction. And I'm happy that Prof. Maneka and Martins too, because what I did is try to go down or to operationalize some of this, to add flesh to what Prof has said, because I make the growth or development of education, I classified it into generations. And when we talk about education, we know we have both formal and informal education. And I will say that to a great extent, we failed in both of them. It was not until recently that we started embracing it in a systematic way. Yes, education. First generation, we have people like Dr. Ezogo, Dr. Gomeze, who was an associate professor in UNN before he joined the civil service. We have Professor J.U. Ogbu, late Professor J.U. Ogbu, a professor in Berkeley University in California. Professor Chigozie Ogbu, Barrister Smith, and Honorable Agumoga. To us, or it may not be exact anyway, these people were like the first generation educationists, the people that started education in Onicha. Informally too, when they come around, but all those ones, it was not systematic, and that's why they didn't succeed in that order. Then second generation, we have people like Dr. Abba Figwe, late Dr. Abba Figwe. Then we have Dr. Koryobu Kanwankwo. I don't know where I will classify our immediate presenter. Professor Chukwu, son on a second generation, son on a third generation. But I know also that it's among the people that we were looking up to. Then after that, we have the third generation, where we have Professor Bonne of UNN. We have Maoga Martins and his brother. We have Stephen Egbo, Professor Koriane, Professor Mondigwe, Professor Johnson Obuna, then Emeka Oji and Barry Stoneway. In fact, these people are the people I would say that they were the bridge between the old and the young. Because growing up, we saw people like Agomeze, Professor Bu. I just met him once when he visited in 1993. Then Professor Chigozie Ogbu, the gap was much, so we couldn't actually interact efficiently and seamlessly with them because now the gap was so much. But the people in Professor Steve Egbo, Professor Ogbonne Igwe, Martins, Engineer Martins, Wade, and all of them, they were closer to us. In fact, this thing, I remember this platform or this foundation, they were the people who started it. As a young boy in secondary school, they used to gather because my cousin, Professor Ogbonne Igwe, was living in our house. So Martins, Mechku, Igwe, and others, they were always coming around. In fact, today, when they talk about mentoring in the address of how we started, it's a very key word because Martins, Igwe, they mentored me so much that whatever I am today, I cannot divorce my success from these two personalities. In fact, when Igwe was a young student, there is a shirt he used to wear, tomato. It was a packet shirt. Whenever he wears that shirt, he will fold it 3 times, package it and everything. Today, whenever I'm wearing shirt, I fold it 3 times. Unconsciously, it has become part of me. It has become part of me because I always want to, because the best handwriting I have seen in this world is from Professor Igwe. The best handwriting. I don't know whether it's still the best now, but Martins will even confirm. Now writing Professor Igwe is one of the best in the world. So these people were mentoring us. Then 4th generation, we took over from them, where we have people like me, we have Nanyerugogo, we have Henry, Vincent Okereke Chukwu, Colonel Chukwumani, Ogbonna Igwe, and one day Martins. One day Martins is also within our generation. And the 5th generation, we have people in the 5th generation where we have members of this organization. Most of them were in the 5th generation. They took over from us. When we were in the university, they were in the secondary school. I remember when I was in university, I used to come to Technica to offer extramural classes anytime we are on holidays. But the question is, after the 4th generation and the 5th generation, there is no 6th generation. Because when we were in the university, I used to drink Gary to make sure that I pass my exams because I can't afford 111. But in court, and everything. That's where the problem started. Martins and Co. and the rest of them above them. There was nothing like courtesan. Even in our own state, there was nothing like courtesan. But after our own state, then going down where some of our people that are begging food to, EPSU and everything, you can see some of them in the 5th generation were inclination towards courtesan, but they were still this fear. But after that, the 6th generation embraced. In fact, for the first time in my life, it was in the 6th generation that I saw somebody that made third class and pass. Onyibanye. Before, our worst result used to be 2-2. Our worst result. Otherwise, we were always making 2-1 and if not first class. But now we cannot even pinpoint Ndimwetra 2-1 now because the 6th generation dislocated. There was no mentoring. The 1st generation succeeded on their own. The 2nd generation succeeded because they were mentored by the 1st generation. The 3rd generation succeeded because they were mentored by the 2nd generation. And the 4th generation succeeded because they were friendly, they were associate boys to the 5th generation. But after that, there is no 6th generation. And these are some of the things who ask us question, what went wrong? What are the challenges? What are the constraints? The truth is, as a community, we have some cultural practices that impeded us from going and developing like Uburu, like opposite. And we don't know because we thought it's a culture. One of the distance is funny, but I will tell you, one of the challenges that kept us where we are as in the Onicha. Bonka, if I am so, so this culture made us, we were recycling poverty within Onicha. Most people didn't marry outside because maybe so I must say the truth. If you take a census now of people that succeeded in Onicha, you will see that greater percentage of people that are doing well, they didn't marry from Onicha. Because when you marry outside, maybe name one big man or one poor man, you have extended your reach. But when you keep on marrying, it's not that it's bad. You are recycling poverty. You are recycling perception that is negative. And at the end of the day, the development will not be exponential. It will be arithmetic. Before you break even and develop, it will be very fast. As I said, that's why I'm happy that Martins is here. When I wanted to marry, because my father-in-law was Martins' direct boss in the office. He told me, this man, go ahead. In fact, the first day I went to my wife's house, My wife, Bonya Akwa Ibom, Martins, followed me. And today, by God's grace, I'm not regretting my marriage. And that marriage has also helped me. At least now we're family, we're relatives now, Akwa Ibom now. Martins didn't marry from a place. And so many others. When we keep on doing some of these cultural practice, knowingly or unknowingly, it is also setting us back. We should try as a people to conscientize ourselves, create that consciousness. Just pray that God should give you your own wife. Then another impediment was poverty, and it's closely linked to what I just said. We were poor. And because of that, some of the people in second and third generation that went to university or went to higher institutions, but I go slow. Martins and I go slow. No. So, yeah, no need matter. Yeah, no school. No, yeah, no need middle exam. Move back to Lagos. So, only way that resolve, only way that determination may not be able to survive. You will just, so man. No. So, these are some of the things that actually impeded us from gaining or from being educated or from moving as other communities within Old Ohosra, so to say. And we have also another orientation of, because now when I saw, I'm school, I can't allow 4 years in the university, in mail service. Now, you know, we are now, you will raise so many things. No. So most of them fell by the roadside. They couldn't, because they felt that 4, 5, 6, 7 years were so many years for them. Instead, I get back, it goes slow. But the question is, those heroes of go slow of yesteryears, where are they today? Most of them cannot solve problems of 100,000 naira today. Because not everything that is not processed cannot, that overtaking is allowed. I told them, every success that is not processed will not succeed. It is not successful. And our people believe that that's why they feel, there is one of my very good friends. He's one of the best, highest tire dealer in Abuja. He told me from Procnizer, how to say that. All these things was about for 10 years. Today is the biggest tire seller in Abuja. Ojekwa Secondary School, he stopped at JS3. But no, Morasha, he was educated, though informal education. How many of our people are interested in that education? The little people, name more formal, now in business, they went to school. The other one they go to school, hey, Morasha from their brothers or their uncles on the watch, on our own way, has served for 3, 4, 5 years, motivated. But of all the people who are Morasha, how many of them are doing well? Success can never be accidental. So all these things are challenges that actually impeded us from gaining from the distance. And obviously, there are many advantages. There are many advantages of, educationally powered community, as we said. One by one is there will be development. Until today, where are we in the Committee of Nations or communities rather? We are not developing. If not that my government, what of public infrastructure? There is a forum I belong to. We call it pay setters. We have been struggling for over 5 years to build. Hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay. We have been struggling for over 5 years to build a police station, but we can't. We're on Anambra as a police officer. One person, individuals in our community, in our police station. But we are a collection of like minds. We've been struggling, but it's not working. Because neither consciousness, that orientation, and also that is a problem. So one of the advantages of educationally empowered community is number one, there will be development. And when there is development, there is peace. When there is development, there is progress and there is peace. Because not one my friend or something, we walk. When you walk on the way go, then we walk. But once you are comfortable in any country, you are more conscious about your life. So what I'm saying in essence is this. Now, we're educated individuals, and we're educated community, that the truth is that there will be development. Because Martins is working in CBN. Professor Chukwu is one of them, is the man Friday to be governor. Professor Koreani is a scholar, it's an academic. Professor Bonda Igwe, not on the other side. Professor Steve Ego, not on Abuja. When we see, we'll be happy. No person will be dodging it or each other's goal. Because no one will get more swear. No. So every person will be happy, will be, there will be progress in the community. But when one person is the only big man in the community, there will not be progress. In fact, go for phone, you have no pick, maybe no two on a meeting now, phone not ring, maybe now. And I saw and they will not know the circumstances why you couldn't pick that course at that point in time. But if you are a big man, I'm a big man, you understand that sometimes, then we can, in fact, no, we don't have my people webinar. Then we can organize a webinar, we can organize a meeting. Go so and I know meeting no choice. As soon as on a Saturday, you get for a meeting. You see, because their mindset is limited. Also, education will also put Onicha on global map. Uburu, as a community, had 2 presidential aspirants in the last concluded the primaries of APC. Uburu as a community has produced 2 governors. The highest we have produced is a deputy governor. And why is it? Because Uburu they give school and empower themselves through education. So when we do this thing, when we are educated, when the community is educated, it will help us very well. Then also there will be foresightedness and a liberal mind to issues of life, to issues. I'm happy by when we try scholarship through this platform. I'm happy. Before we have limited information. We don't even know, apart from Dr. Dave Okorafo and co, who enjoy scholarship. Some of us struggled. It's not as if we couldn't have passed the exam, but in that one, we give without the information. Before you give without the information, or do late. But with this platform now, they share information, they educate the people, they conscientize the people, they enlighten the people on some of this immediate information, and it will help the community to be developing. And above all, it will alleviate poverty. The poverty, because when you take care of your parents, I take care of my parents, you take care of your uncle, I take care of my uncle, the chain keep on going down. Before you know it, and I don't know. If you analyze the economy of one house in the build, you will see that when you are building a house in Onja, you are feeding over 20 families. Because the engineer now will also take care. One you know mama put will also foundation they will also gain. Onye cement will also gain. Onye carpenter will gain. At the end of the day, for one duplex built in Onicha, within that month or 2, 3, 4, 5 months it took to build that house, you have felt about 20 families. And when we have many people doing well, successful people in Onicha, we are building more houses. We are also alleviating poverty. And indirectly also, you are also sponsoring and empowering people to go to school. Because now they will use it and send their children back to school. So we will now start recycling. Instead of recycling poverty, we are recycling success and empowering people. And above all, I think my time is almost, the way forward, as I say, the way forward is there is need. These type of programs are very good. I commend you people very well, the organizers. In fact, you people, we are the 5th generation, and we are the 4th generation. I think you people are the 5th generation in the education ladder of Onicha. You people are not failing us at all. Though you people failed partly because you allowed the 6th generation not to function. You didn't motivate them very well. You didn't mentor them very well. Because now, so Onicha will hold you people responsible. There is actually a way to atone for an uncheerful past, because we have an uncheerful past with the C generation. And this is one of the ways of atoning for this uncheerful past by this program, reaching out to them. The people that helped us to embrace the education, the Martins, the Igwes and co, Professor Korea and Abafu Igwe, they didn't give us money. They're mentoring, talking to me. You know, Igwe told me when I again university, Professor Igwe, some Nigerian university have big people and poor people, that if I want to be popular in the university, I should make first class. That I should not join court. That if I make first class, once my GPA is already 4 point something, that the most beautiful girls in the class will be interested in me. And that was, it motivated me. I started reading like, so now this first class I will get it. I didn't make first class, but I came top in my class. So it is encouragement like people like Igwe, people like Martins. Even after graduation, they were still on me, monitoring my progress, always advising me. And today, I'm not regretting anything. They mentored us very well. So mentoring is very, very good. It's even far more important than money. Once you mentor, and you people have started it. So I commend you people very well for this mentoring program you people talk about, and for reaching out to this scholarship also. And importantly, I think you people should do a memo or a letter to Onicha, Town Union, and Ezogo. There is need to have age grades in Onicha. Communities that have developed, they develop through age grades. It should be, in fact, a matter of compulsory. Fifth generation, you group yourself. On a certain age, it can be age of 5 years or 10 years, as the case may be. You group yourself, you challenge yourself. Every year you can do something for the community. In fact, in some communities, now they will get traditional age grade retirement. At 70, they will do a very massive program to say they have retired from this. It will help us. It will help us very well when we group ourselves into age grade. Martins and Endo to her, as not going to each of Martins and Endo to her, let them have their own age grade. They can be Webike, they can call it whatever name. And you know, one form one, let it have element of compulsion, so to say. It will help us. Mending our comfort, mending our motive, as far as we are like minds, we come together. It will motivate us very, very well. Then also,
I'm sorry, Dr. Bunda, I would like to interject at this time. We've gone beyond our time just to make sure we keep with the schedule for the meeting, please.
Thank you very much. Let me conclude and say, thank you very much. There are many things to talk about. But please let us, I must commend this program. Mentoring is very good. Scholarship is very good. And age grade formation should be also recommended to the Onicha Union. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bunawanta. Actually, Branwanta, it's my big cousin and my big brother who I grew up with. And it's so important, like, as he's talking about mentorship, I can't forget some of the lessons. Even up to now, he's still mentoring and teaching me and always dragging me around along and making sure I'm doing fine in my academic and social life. Thank you to everyone that have taken our time to be here to this point. We really appreciate you guys. We'll go over to the next segment, which is a presentation by Professor Akanwa Ngu on building a sustainable community.
I guess you are muted, no voice.
Development of Onicha Life. The quote from Professor M.A. Ngu says, "When you ring the bell of education, you keep me awake. You are welcome to this great event."
Can you hear me? I have a question before you connect. Hello.
Go ahead, Prof.
We can hear you, Prof.
We can hear you.
Professor M.A. Akawa. Did you get the question? My question is, Akawa.
The network is waiting to join.
While we're waiting for Professor Akawangu to join, we'll go ahead and get to the next schedule just to give him time to adjust. So we'll start with the mapping of educational resources in primary and secondary education in our community. The presentation of OCE award winner Chinyere Obasi. Engineer Bona, are you there with us?
Yeah, I'm here. You can call the next person, please.
So the next agenda is mapping of educational resources. I think the presentation of I'll go ahead and call Friday Wuna if he's available to present a poem.
Okay.
They can present later so that we can save time. You can go to the next person too.
Oh, okay. So we'll go ahead and start and continue with the presentation by Engineer Elder Ogonwachuku, building a collaborative and educational resource sharing community.
Wow.
I'm not sure if
No, he's here. He is on the line. Well, he's muted. Maybe Destiny can unmute him.
You're a co-host. You can unmute him if you see him, please.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
MC, please, I want to take permission to leave. I have a live phoning program in EBBC.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Okay.
We really appreciate your time and your presence here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much, Prof. We appreciate.
Thank you.
We appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Maybe while we wait, we'll just go ahead
Chidima,
yes.
it seems Friday is ready. Let him read his poem. And
Okay.
get others to come online as well.
Hello.
Okay. You can go ahead, Friday. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Obunia Friday, a pharmacy student, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka. I duly recognize everyone here, and as a matter of fact, I'm here to present to you the poem which I wrote in the course of the ongoing ASU strike as part of my little contribution to the global fight against addiction. The title of this poem is From Addiction to Addiction. From Addiction to Addiction. But I will frame it major aims captured in the 7 stanzas of the poem to help you understand it better. But then I assure you that as you listen attentively, you are going to get the aims all by yourselves. Happy listening. Friends, this is my proposed transition from substance abuse onto healthy repetitions, such as listening to music and rehydration.
Do you have a screen to share?
The screen.
No, allow. Okay.
Okay. There's no screen to share. I will share it later to everyone.
Okay.
Okay. Such as listening to music and rehydration. This is because research has proven such repetitions equally capable and more fit to raise our dopamine. This surely can once and for all be the remedy that suits and gradually cure our recurrent malady, which simply begins as a mere experimentation, retrogressing down to a fatal chronic dependence where nothing matters to us save the substance. This surely will spare us from the paradox of life, whereby we go seeking life from the monsters. This does not exempt the so-called methamphetamine, from which many addicts now hike their dopamine for an ecstatic thought into an utopic pleasure and life. This surely is a clarion call to the whole world to give a meticulous ponder on this whole world. Else, we soon turn resistant to the good medications administered by our well-meaning health practitioners due to drug abuse, substance abuse, and self-medications. This is the need for a collective pursuit of a better health, where we tag every substance a potential poison, hence making enough inquiries before consumptions. This won't just be a booster to our immediate health, but a strategy to safeguard our unborn generation. Friends, this is very far from a cliche. It's a reality. If we are willing to learn, then take responsibility by knowing the side/adverse effects of what we eat, not just on our finances, but primarily on our health. This is in a nutshell how we can rule our heads. Dear friends, this is high time we prepare to rise to our feet, then endear our health to become our heartbeats. By putting behind every inflicted scars, which is secondary, then embrace the hint for our well-being, which is primary. Spouse, this is my heartfelt message to all and sorry. So that is the poem. Then in conclusion, the shortest and most sincere advice I will give to every one of us at this point is that beyond eating and drinking because we are hungry or thirsty for whatsoever it is, we should rather eat because we want to live longer and healthier to fulfill our purpose. Then finally, we should always remember to constantly sip some water, especially when we are hungry, as we wait for a healthier food or drink option, because we are indirectly what we eat, and our health is largely in our hands. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless you, even as you comply, and also pass this message to everyone you care about. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Friday, for the wonderful poem and the advice. I hope everybody would remember to drink drink of water and eat healthy food. Thank you very much. So we'll go over to the next agenda, which is the presentation by Professor Akanwa Ngbu, Building a Sustainable Community.
Chidinma, sorry for the interruption. Can they continue with Chinyere so that Akanwa can set up properly?
Oh, sure. I saw he was online. That's why I called him. Okay, so we'll go over to the presentation by Chinyere Obase.
Great people of Onicha, my name is Obase Chinyere, a student of Alex Ekweme Federal University in Dufalikiko. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can hear you.
We can hear you.
I'm so happy to be given this opportunity. I acknowledge everyone. You're all welcome. Mapping of the next slide, please. The next slide. Sharing. Sorry.
I've not shared your screen. Do you have a screen to share?
I think she's currently sharing her screen.
We can see her screen,
Okay.
please.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
The next slide. No. Okay, these are the outlines, including the introduction, just the content of the things I'll be talking on. Then in the introduction, resource mapping can be referred to as asset mapping or environmental scanning. It's about what you have, what an individual has, or a community or organization, or even as an individual. So the process of identifying them, bringing them together is what is known as asset. It can also be referred as environmental scanning. Hello, please. Oh, sorry for that. The mapping is a strategy for identifying and analyzing resources such as program, people, service, materials, and other resources currently available in schools or communities. It also involves chairs, other instrumental materials, tables, books, and other things, everything that are needed in school or in a community that will enhance education and known as resources. It also involves humans such as teachers, even pastors, the students, papers, they are all involved in it. The educational resources are accessible instructional materials, such as text, media, and other assets, including digital assets, such as the phones and other palm tops, laptops, and the rest of them. They are all educational resources too, because one can derive knowledge from it and also use it to teach another. They are profitable and useful for teaching. One can use it to teach, such as the e-learning, make use of computer gadgets, and also you can use it for learning. It can be, one can learn from it, and also for assessment, even for research purpose. They involve human, as I earlier said, such as teachers and students, and non-human resources such as real objects, spacemen, projector, laptop, and so on, including school buildings and layouts. Educational resources also involve other fundamental materials. I've already mentioned this earlier, such as pencil, exercise books, pen, etc. All these things are needed because they are mandatory for every student. Because even from the elementary stage to the highest, no one though without pen, pencil, and book. Because even in tertiary institution, you don't use pen for drawing. So in one way or the other, those things are needed. That's why I say that which aids teaching and learning, and learners are expected to have them. Others include ICT-based resources, such as computer, and so that e-learning platform, also physical infrastructure, such as the buildings, library, laboratory, and lots more. and amenities, such as having water, potable water. They also have educational facilities, which include laboratory, library, and other things to be mentioned. Sorry. The objective of this research, the main objective of this study is to find out the resources in primary and secondary school in Onicha community that can attract government and non-government intervention towards the unavailable ones. So that's the main aim of it, or the objective, is to see those things, those assets that are in the community, specifically in the schools, which is the point of interest, to see those things that have. From there, the organization will be able to know the ones that they don't have and able to also identify the ones that are pressing. Then the study is specifically designed to achieve the following objective, which include to bring awareness to primary and secondary school in Onicha community by engaging them in the research. While doing the research, awareness is being created. As I move school to school during the data collection, I observed that many schools are not aware of the organization, but now almost all is aware of OEF, which is a good thing, is a good achievement, and also one of the objectives to capture information on each school in the community. As schools have been visited and interaction is being held with the individuals, such as the teachers, the head teachers, and the principals, they're able to capture information, able to know what's going on in the school, able to know the status of the school, and also able to know how the organization can come in to help the school. To highlight the resources, being the next objective, available in the primary and secondary school. So from it, there will be a quantitative analysis in order to enlist those things that they don't need. It's also one of the objectives of this research. Most importantly, mapping the educational resources present and also to get awareness of the unavailable resources. Then the methodology of the research. The method used for this research is observational and quantitative. It's observational because it's based on what I see, what I'm able to see by myself, look around the environment, interact with the people, and the researcher being me is not involved in it. There's no manipulation. It's exactly based on what I get, the information I gathered, and what I'm able to capture, which enable me to generate my own personal evidences using audio record and also using phone camera to capture the environment. It's also quantitative because it is able to gather the information because it relies on data collected or data observed in order to examine the questions for a particular, for the sample population, which is the community as the population of interest. So quantitatively, I've been able to gather the information such as, let me say, in the aspect of ICT tools, I can tell, okay, this is the number of schools that don't have computer. And from there, I can also gather these are the ones that do not have, and these are the ones that have, and also in other resources. The research hypothesis is a research hypothesis because it introduces research questions and propose possible outcome and real results and results. It also shows the relationship between schools as variables, because from it, I can able to see, okay, let me say if I'm looking at the primary schools, I can able to group in maybe the private and the government school. What are the things, what makes these people better? Able to see, okay, what are their similarities, what is their differences? I think the differences is what makes the one better than the other. And also, it is a research hypothesis because it is testable. Yes, it is a statement of expectation. It's predictable. You can also, there's an expectation in it. From where, forms are administered in form of questionnaire. This is when I was gathering my data, I used the format of questionnaire to the school by visiting them too. Is also one of the ways I gathered my data, and where they were also collected using the paper-based questionnaire. Personal evidences were generated from the visits to the schools and interactions. I had interaction with the teachers and also with the students. More evidences were gathered with the use of camera, phone, camera, and video records. Then those are results and findings so far. The table shows the responses of the schools, each of the school in each resource. The total number of primary schools visited are 33 schools in number, and number of secondary schools are 10, making the total of 43 schools. Now, the research question, that's why I said earlier that it's a research hypothesis. You can see that it introduces research questions. You can see some of them here, and then definitely it proposed a possible outcome or expected result. Now, in one of the resources, you have the educational facilities. Under there, the question there is, if they were asked if they are completely certified with their library space and book materials. You can see under the primary school that only 2 say they are okay with their library space, 31 schools said no, and in the secondary, none. Nobody is certified, 10 of them, no one is certified with their library space. The next one, they also asked if they can participate in the book sharing program, and 22 in primary said yes, and 9 in secondary said yes. So the book sharing program is actually a unique program that is being faced or being organized by OEF. It's a beneficial one which involves bringing resources together that will benefit the student, the purpose, the teacher, and even the community. For instance, the way OEF will achieve this, the first thing was to group the schools into zones. I did that. That's the first thing, to group the schools into zones. For instance, zone A, if zone A is made up of, let me say, 10 schools, I mean, say one of the schools or any place that is closed based on proximity can be assigned as the sharing programs venue or center, where people, let me say the students, even people in the community can come, bring their materials. Let me say those who are done with their primary school, done with secondary schools, all the books, all the textbooks and other instructional materials they use are being dumped at their home. And being there is useless. So it will be encouraged for such person to bring those things, bring it to the center. Then it will be there. Those who don't have will come there and borrow it. I think this is a very, very good idea. So we are saying to our teachers, students, and other.
Sorry, can you go straight to highlight your findings so far? Okay, because this one you're already making recommendation.
Okay.
Just tell us what you found and the deficit. Here you went here, just summary, like, you know, because the research, I'm not sure that ended, so that we can beat time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. These are some of the schools I visited, the pictures, the primary and secondary, and these are some of the schools. Some of them need building, and it's also some of the schools. And the future work is preparation of final reports to be presented. And it will help to identify the resources available, and it also help to bring awareness, also to able to identify the pressing needs of the community, and also to help in development of educational status, and also bring relationship between the organization and school, and also bring cooperation. And how this research will help Onicha, it will help Onicha in many ways. It will help the community in gaining benefits from the School Education Foundation, also help the community to know more about the organization in order to support her in achieving her goal. It will help in solving some pressing problems or issues in the educational system, which is already ongoing. It will expose the community to other necessities in education, such as what OEF are able to achieve in offering scholarship is also one of the things that the community will benefit. It also bring awareness of educational opportunities and information that will bring development in summary. Mapping of educational resources in primary and secondary school in Onicha is to ascertain the educational resources, which include both human and non-human resources and the community. Then mapping of education in Onicha community is important to create a useful way because it engages both the student, the teachers, the community. It brings everyone together. And as we work together, we will achieve our goal and able to get what we want, and everyone will benefit from it. And also even attract the interest of other persons within the or outside community. The educational resources involve education facilities, infrastructure, instructional materials, and lots more. So the results and the findings above revealed that educational resources and materials should be beneficial to the community at large. Thank you so much for listening. Your questions are welcome, if any.
Thank you so much, Chinyere, for the wonderful presentation and undertaking the rigorous research. I believe your presentation is with Onicha Education Foundation, and if anyone is interested in reading through, it will be made available. Just send an email with the email provided by Engineer Chukuma Obonna. Before we go ahead to the next program, I think it's we've gotten to the point where we need to take like a 2 minutes break just to get water, stretch our leg, while we wait for Engineer Chief John Ogumachukwu to make his presentation. I will play a light music in the background. Just quickly grab water, stretch your leg for 2 minutes, and then we'll continue with our presentation.
Sorry, I will be taking my permission. I've exceeded my time. I know you will do because
We're grateful for making our time to be here, even
Prof,
before every other person and being here up to this point.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you, thank you,
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I love to make some suggestions at the end of the day, but I'm constrained by time. Some of the time.
Prof, you have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes.
You can make your
to
presentation
talk to us,
before you
Biko. I need
give
to
the
appreciate
suggestion.
over the 5 minutes, sir. Biko.
Thank you very much.
Prof, sir. Please, Prof, are you still with us?
I think he is.
Okay. Prof, we would like you to make your suggestions or speak to us for at least 5 minutes.
You can see I'm working out. Somebody is waiting for me.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Prof. Aginekwa, for your time and being here with us. We really, really appreciate. On behalf of everybody from OEF and the participants, we are grateful. We'll go ahead and take our 2 minutes break, and while we wait for Elder Chief John Ogumachukwu to get ready for his presentation.
Today, Manikwa, I'm not anything. On the well, Sadobe. I'm out.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome back from the short break. I guess we're back from drinking water. The 2-minute break was needed. Please don't forget to use the chat box. Now is up with chat box for you to use in interacting with people. You know, it's also good for us to learn, but also to network and interact with people and to connect with some of our friends, relatives that we haven't seen in a long while. So we'll go ahead with our next presentation by Elder Ogonwachukwu. The presentation is Building a Collaborative and Educational Resource Sharing Community. Over to you, Prof. Chief, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Yes, we can hear.
Ife astemfu arụ kwa mkpirisi paaka n'ihi na ọtụtụ ife na-efuwe nche na anyị na-anụ ife na-efu.
Yes.
Are you here? Collaborative educational resource something nonja. Abụ na ama ife mbido nta. Ijikọta aka ọnụ ime ife nonja ebido na amọfụ. And ibido ife banyere ụlọ akwụkwọ bụ na 1977 rather 1976 mgbe ekere ya Hoza local government. Ana-ajụ ebe ejuga ka headquarter ga eju. Ana-ajụ asụsụ dị na-agba abisi ya nwa bụ ndị Onitsha. Ndị ọkpọsọ asụsụ dị court ndị o gburu na-ajọ nke ha. Emeruwa His Royal Highness Ezeogo Dr. Gomeze. So local government headquarter ife nke anyị mkpaba ụlọ akwụkwọ. Se woro agba bisi ya nwa wuro me ụlọ akwụkwọ. Ọ bụ eke bidoro ife chịkọta eke ọnụ banyere ego akwụkwọ mpụtara n'Onitsha. Ihe na-eke ọ bụ eset ya committees ọtụtụ ndụ ha iche iche. In fact, na mbụ ọ bụ m lead task force nnatara ego na Nike ma esekporoke eji bido Onitsha Secondary Technical School. And mgbe ọ bụ imeso aga abịa kee ụlọ ifu ọbụla eketa ụlọ ha ga na-arụ. N'ọya ka eji bido ijikọta aka ọnụ ime ife banyere akwụkwọ n'Onitsha. N'ihi na before then na-enwe ụdị ife ndotu nwa. Anyị abụrụ the first community secondary school ewuru na Old Hoza. Anyị abụkwara ya nyere ọtụtụ n'ime ụneka ebe secondary school. N'ihi na before then also government college Ishagumbo, so there was a limitation to going to school then, especially as per secondary education. Then after that, there have been so many organizations that came up. But ọtụtụ oge nsogbu anyị na-eme n'Onitsha bụ inwe ike mee ife sọbụrụ ife mfụrụ ndụ ga anyị asụ after all enwe ife Dr. Nwota mfuru na-egwu ha ịrụ police station. What good? Ngwụrụ mere arụghị ya nakwa na ndị mmadụ enweghị interest nakwa na-enwe ego ọ na-enwe onye nwe ego nakwa enweghị mmasị gosi na ndị be anyị so na-akpọkọta ikpe mkpụrụ ọjọọ ikperisi ya bụ na ndị mmadụ buru n'onwe ha na-eme ife otu o kwesịrị.
Right. Like
network.
How to go log out? You can add again.
Elders, you are muted. He's online, but he's muted.
Listening.
I think he's muted. Okay, now we have him.
Do I continue?
He's
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. How do you go keep it? I can't bear a mute.
Go ahead.
We can hear you now.
So
on with poor reception. On with poor reception.
But can you hear me?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So he directed us to go. The language. So I need yes, I go and go you. Huh? Yeah, go and go and go you. No sanctuary we won't take it. I need be correct. Yeah, Karanya, then we pay Danya. No, Sida me off ya. No, Achikoto men can go a pecker. Yeah, but if any now precisely, Bugununji Cataro. Yeah, the quad depots on the Cademe. Need not to pay me. The OP on the Progressive Assembly, Bidurunke, they may annual lectures every time. For the past 5 years, the thing fizzled out. I be one day on a chance to call a cheap basic. Chicoton has so give a scholarship scheme for the my library books to various schools, but it failed. So I see Pembury, Bonahai for Undi Naba University. If I post MBA fee, had exam that year. And they were about not less than 100 and for Rogo. So even now, because none to happen, because Mama out to know the chop them. Because one thing I am, because then when you put a generation, you come and with a because no Purundio Mara, with doctorate degree with more professors. Normally, when they know their background, there are so many teachers who helped out to improve education in Onicha. And the teachers are the basic resource for any enhancement. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Go ahead.
I love your approach. But they was on the made a comment before, so I was on no mutu, Sunu Chicheteane. Because not Tundi Madame Otundi Madame and then when I second technical, I'm not 2 terms. Then I Tundi about Nyembo, Ebamba, that Chief John Ogumachku. Mwabumbi runs on the community secondary school. I've taught for 37 years. And I was a principal for 21 years. And even by the school education. Yabrune de Naeko, Yabreke Ako, Inkerani. The vast enough to tell you everything about it. So Yabuno Gikunu, such a program, Sahata, they do it. Sabata. Then a proper schools. Yes, I am on your mapping. Good and fine. Open mapping all this theoretical something abon if you Ranyeka. No, two the scholarship something. Abia poor agree mopu. Because no I agree map by car had in to her. And my pen in the Hennipu. And when on a second on the community, no Kataba assembly. And you have one about our school of Mandik and Ipuno Menunu. Onyan Munembu to us over the Eka, and came with Eka. It got also an Ipan Yan so no airport, or to get Zibangu. What people know Menunu Adoma, Sabri Mumajin Kendoma, Engineer Neka. So Yabuno Gipunu. Wunu before body, visit schools and talk to these students. And even though they are possible, village unions are very, very important. Because now on the abundant weekend, they use the resources same way. Because other 2 resources, and I normally tell them no buy a cake but don't buy a cafe. Go to patrology campaign. No, go to Cotegon, see routine. The Conia Sofia. Ligin, they make one say, no, okay, Madame Bonoquer. And now be permanent to the money. Let me say, room was fine. Njiro na Ekwongba Njiri. Nina Professor Barrister Wite were encouraging people. They didn't give a couple to anybody, but they were encouraging people, encouraging the parents that these things were not difficult, that you could do it. And they were able to be doing it. And today, most of us have graduated. So yeah, but some of these things. So in videos, in fact, no come now you agree on coming on a common ground at one time, and people speak to them. Hey, man, I need you na kwa also. Nenwe so nyengero na kwa sabro so nyonye monye mure. Ni na guje na kwa yoto ngo mari pi mu ikime. Mana gbe mu ikime. Then I worry by professors and educated specialist, somebody who can find, who knows what he wants and knows how to get it. So yeah, bro, some of these things. So resources don't pa. You know, madam. Where would they go? He would take go. Bondi madam would take go. And now on your buenque would take go, so would take go. On your Sunday and won't pass away. Yeah, but I'm a penny. Before you know it, at the end of the year, no 4 days go for over. At a cotown, it would make them. There are so many problems in the modern school. Kaka and Wendell Technica. I found out then we had some of them make mistakes of direction in 2017. I had to invite Dr. Emmanuel Wobara for guidance and counseling talks, which he did. And God will have it. I didn't stay long. Yeah, and run on the technical longer than the time I stayed. Inkenan gain way more impact on them because nani ne mara. Nina mbonye onja, chain onja, jeona ekor onja, may pedi in onja. So every problem hang with, we can always address it. I know and we major interest in them. So Bruce, if you have nine in me, I'm thankful. Now mentoring, oh Madu Kwampa, because no gado, I would have gone back to the 70s. Or 20 the men demand to get secondary school on charge. They were discouraging people until that time. Ebiro secondary technical in 1977. So people got more concerned, and people started going to school. Some of you benefited from it. And another suggestion I want to make before I go round up. Bo ndị ngere school na ka ngere ka technical na community unu mara na unu nwa ọrụ na that school ga school mmeberu no gebe unu otu unu ndebere unu na azụ na school ọ bụ mara ife unu ga-ejikọta ka na school because na school adakpo Ebonyi state government doesn't help matters. Do you know that in schools now there are no textbooks? So students don't need textbooks again. There's no library. Primary school, in fact, the school in the Ebonyi State is in shambles. And now this community effort and committed effort, so brothers are enhance and we don't continue looking on government. And that one day, politicians to do the most selfish set of people on here. On your barricade, you say taking our property. Look at some people who were able to get somebody in the House of Representatives for 8 good years. Cannot boast of one common infrastructure from him. And I want us as young people coming up, that selfishness should be put off. So I need to go to and give you no delivery. Look at somebody gives tickets now, 50 million. So you have no young over, you have no 25% going to 2 million. Don't you have a mother? And they will not forget it person. I'm sorry, I'm going personal. But all these are things I think was the Sajibo Puno Buani. Sanyama and Dioso, Bonqua. Nukani, no, Yaduma. Go ho, I didn't need angry young. And you go back sooner, you know, Padonio, if a name may be. Oh, by for court. Court and Gunumere court. Not how I enjoy these people. Equity, Gazia Gas. But I know we can school and we do any mother. Yes, school type of schedule. Before the end of the term, how many primary secondary schools came on? About 4. So I will make an email agreement. The bro in the mess Hemaranesi, na have Quampa. Bro have Bundin Quistis a hatch cotton where may pay Anuru. we are not so much backward in the aggregate. No braka kwa nye managba na enwe fu bodiko mo na enwe governor. Na enwe governor mgbenambo. We will draw president. Gono kwatara anya ajo. Ndi oncha tụrụ ndị na-akwado kọma ndị oncha. Ndị onye nwe political office oche na ọ bụ sọsọ ya. Na ọ bụ ya sọsọ ya yiri turu. Sọsọ ndị mgbara ya gburugburu. Anyị gara arịta na ọma ndị ọzọ mere iji nọ na anyị nọchiri anya ndị mmadụ. So anyị reta na eke ọ bụla anyị nọ. Na anyị bụ resource to Onicha people. Bụrụ resource to every Onicha people in general. So that anyị mara anyị impact to comment on everybody. So diko unu jisi ike na ọmụ ọkwa evere na ejisi ipe narị ọ bụla ya dasị ga emesi gị ibe because na Onicha Progressive Assembly has fizzled out. It's not, in fact, people looked at this as a political platform. I can't give achieve political progress. Some of them got disappointed because they couldn't use it as a political platform. Though some people benefited from it. TSA politics, issue on your here, on your here, they pay him. Yeah, but not possible. Now you give me influence political decisions, Nonja. It's very, very important. Because now if I give me as a group, as a community, will be far less than if a government give me. If we are able to attract the government. I know man you give me attract the government. Another thing I'm trying to say again, when on a technical, and we make off for Anambra State. He was able to, I don't know how he got it. He was able to gather some books, gather some books from various people in overseas, and now came back and distributed it to schools. In fact, I went to his place. Local government, secondary technical because no, but those things are not being put in use because nine teachers, when enthusiastic. Yeah, me exam my practice. Yeah, with their consciousness to read and improve themselves. So no, saying we pay no divide. Saying we eka oji yamini. Unu meje na nnukwu onye mere ife ọma Chineke na-arịzọ ma ọdụ nkọjọ onye ka mmiri tụlue akwana narị unu mesi ike jikọta onwe unu because na unu bụ the major resource nka nwe onye ọbụla njere na should look at himself as a major resource which has to be put in place to produce other things. So now that's my appeal. So diko unu jisi ike my father no grandma I'm this same. I'm not to nunji for them there. Come limuna canoro lunguizu. In fact, yeah, Bruno, to God be the glory. I've been involved from the secondary technical project to Mbemere to Emebe to Bata community, Biamo to Emere. So Onicha Education community 1997. Some of them are successful. In fact, I have produced about 2 professors in Onicha. I taught Professor Chuku. I taught Professor Mvuma Chuku. I started teaching in 1978. So when you look, so you pay by the education, secondary education precisely, because not my major area. Anybody be after them someday, I'm married to him. No, get able if I don't give them suggestion engineer the Agas. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Nani
Thank you, Adam. We appreciate you.
Your
Thank you so
contribution
much.
to the education
Thank you.
system as a teacher. We really, really appreciate, and we can't say thank you enough. We'll go ahead and get to the next agenda. I don't know if Professor Akanwa is ready. Okay, it seems he's ready. So his presentation is building a sustainable community.
Guys, you are muted, please.
Keep me away. You are welcome to this great event.
Can you see the slide?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Education, Onicha Education Foundation Annual Community Interaction 2022.
Prof, or Johnny Wara.
Prof, he's actually online, but I don't know.
Let him go ahead with the presentation.
Okay.
If he can't present, I think we'll be able to share this on our various platforms so that people can go through the presentation. He has forwarded to me, has also forwarded to Engineer Chukuma. He complained of not being able to unmute, and have also tried to unmute him, and it's not really working. So I don't know what the problem is with his network. So we can proceed.
Destiny, can you try unmuting him?
I've tried doing that. It's not working.
Okay. It's not working. Maybe like
engineer saying when I did house, if you people cannot unmute Prof, then there is a problem.
Let him log out and come in again.
No, he has even been made a co-host, yet he's still not able to.
Yeah, I have seen from my
Can he log in with a different device?
I've seen from my roommate, no, it's a system setting. So he may not even be able to unmute himself. He has to use another system altogether.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Chidinma, you can continue. Let's see if we can sort that out. I will stop sharing so that we can save time.
Okay, thank you very much to all our wonderful engineers. We'll go ahead and call on Mrs. Pamela Nwachukwu, Mr. Ferdinand Mojo for the announcement of the winners of OEF Scholarship for Girls in Primary Competitions / Award.
Okay, and thank you so much for that opportunity. I will make the announcement with Mr. Okereke Edward and Mr. Ferdinand Ojo. I don't know if ndị nọ na technical nwere ike moon if we can see you people.
Speakers sign your vote for the day.
We have Caroline also. That's another speaker in waiting. I think I can see her.
Yeah. Please, let's just allow Chidinma to moderate this. I think she's doing it very well. She knows what to call, whenever to call it. So, Ndi none on the tech, I don't know whether we can see you or there's a way to get signal.
Yes, sir. You can see us, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Just to, as you position very well, just to give us a little bit of background. This was a scholarship competition. It was a competition, so the procedure was to get Ndina first and second in the primary school and nominate her. He said her exam, had under exam condition. OEF, a mark here and a who, a mark and a who, it may upload the results. So it was a very transparent process. Obe Candy Mary Merge, Ncho May Merge. So today we are very happy because at the end of the day we have winners. And I will start calling, I will call the names. We have the honor of Mr. Ferdinand Ojo from the principal of Onicha Community Secondary School. We have the honor of having him to give this award. Apologies on behalf of Mrs. Pamela Nwachukwu. She's not able to make it this morning, but we appreciate her support as well. So, okay, the first person Eze Emanuela. It is Emanuela. Okay, enwere onye anọ eji inye ekishon award where get to the person. Yabrune Emanuela anọ na Eze Emanuela is from Holy Child International and Primary School. So Ogbara 7th position. Chinelo Esther O from David Accord. Ononeho.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So can we clap for Chinelo, please? Can we clap for Chinelo? Yeah. Thank you so much.
So what is the award?
Okay, so we have 3 bands of award. The first 5 persons with 20,000. The next 7 persons with 10,000. The other 4 persons with 5,000. So each of them later, but not all of them can get ahead of 48 near this exam. So everybody will later. At the end of the day, all of them will get their letter from Mr. Okereke Edward. So Okoronkwo Treasure A from Ugwenu Primary School, Anoneho. Treasure. Yes. Please, can we encourage her? Can we encourage all of them by clapping? The next is Ikechukwu Ugochi from Holy Family Nursery and Primary School. Is Ugochi there? Yeah, anybody that is not there will collect her own from Edward later. The next person is Joko Miracle from Holy Child International Nursery and Primary School. The next person is Ogobuchi Promise from Amata Modern Primary School. The next person is Okike Ifoma Community Primary School. Do we have Ifoma from Umugo? Edward.
Please let them.
Where are we? Have you given to Ifoma from Umugo?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Please, this is really nice. You can see how we are using technology to connect ourselves. So let's bear with the malfunctioning that we may experience. But I think we are doing very, very well. Thank you so much. The next person from Power School is Friday Favor. Is Friday Favor? Can we clap for Friday Favor? Thank you. Thank you so much. The next person is Okoronkwo Happiness. Okoronkwo Happiness from Okwama Community Primary School. Can we clap for Happiness? The next person is Okorafo Ebubechi from Umubo Community Primary School. Ebubechi. The next person is Victor Kosi Sochuku from Amanato Community Primary School. Is Kosi Sochuku there? Please, can we encourage her and clap for her, particularly those who are the centers? Thank you. The next person is Okore Chioma from Ugwodida Community Primary School. Okay, at this point, I want to start highlighting because Chioma came fourth in this competition out of 48 persons. Obona Precious C from Onicha Central came fourth as well. Obona Precious from Onicha Central. Anyone that is not there gets her letter. Okay, Chuku Mary from Winners International School, third position. Is Mary there? Okay, Chuku Mary from Winners International School.
Chuku Mary from Winners.
Not yet.
Samuel Blessing from Chona School, second position. Can we clap for her even in absentia? Well done. And the first position goes to Chinaze Pere F. Emmanuel from David Accord. Can we clap for her? Thank you so much. If you wrote the exam, please, there is a letter for you. And we hope that some other time you will win cash prize. These are the people that won cash prize. And we believe that you are doing very well. We want you to stay focused and keep participating in the activities of OEF. I will now yield the floor to Engineer Benison for comments. Thank you.
Hello.
I hear you, engineer.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hello.
Afambo Benison Chukwuovoke. Mbo Nyungubo. And ife basara na yakwana atom odragba. I don't know say when they are born the banyan no neka maka na had to lost out. So ife basara yakwana atom odragba and gene mi for man and that is the mama no get handle that no. So and also so na yakwa the moto. Ife nka ha moto be humana kareka agbanwe like you know, people's destiny gets changed for good.
Hello, sorry, engineer.
Yes.
Sorry, just point of correction. Diko yabuna wene meje dam ibenekwe introduction. So I do two details so that yabuna wenye not by specific areas. Yabuna need somebody, a professional.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Sorry to add.
So, excuse me, sir. Please, we are strictly running on time and we don't have time again. We have a master of ceremony, which is Barry.
Okay, no problem.
Observation, right.
And please, let me finish. Just give me a minute. Let me finish. We want to.
It's okay now. It's okay. I've heard you. Go ahead, please.
We don't want anybody, even myself, to interject the master of ceremony. That's why we call it master. If not, we'll have chaos and anarchy here. So please, let's just whatever the MC think it's appropriate. She will do, okay? Or you can send it as a chat to somebody who will communicate, who end up getting it to her. She is the way we want to run it so that we don't have people just interjecting. And
please understood.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Like I said, I'm Benison Chukwuovoke. I'm a civil and environmental engineer. I'm to Melbourne, in Australia. So I'm actually reaching out to Ndinkem from Australia here. And now Urban here, this is 28 minutes past 9 p.m. So yeah, but I just came downstairs in the library, you know, to be able to have this meeting because they've gone to bed. Like I said, but somebody very passionate about seeing destinies change, you know. So I agree one. Onye na-ado 4 years, onye na-ado about 18 months now. And they are a piece of treasure in my hands. So, and and I go Ekwaneka at that little age. So anytime up for her school, Jay Panatahema and ask, hi, how I wish this opportunity these kids anyway to open to Matobona Morona Onicha. Every dear child should have this type of opportunity. And I will commit my life as long as I live to make sure Maratine can provide better opportunities to people. So here we can opportunity I remember very precisely the first day I graduated from primary school. The man in the G that I want to papa so yeah, paramon what I carry you have sang and neighbor up and yet yourself on a scoop or spoke. So the first day in that I want to school when she was 8 months. It happened that Penemoto and the bang in a 2 Jeep SUV, you know. So when men could from Moton says, and so therefore, yes, why in the SF it's remarkable that the first day I graduated from primary school, around June 1989. No carry go and kids paramone somebody, you know, Jedeta. So there was a transfiguration, there was a change. There was a kind of, you know, Ebrundi chemistry has ionization that even though I was 6 years old, that I would take my own child at 8 months and perhaps a parent and so it is a challenge for me to make sure that I create opportunities down home. Need produce people that will begin to have very quality life. Luckily, when this scholarship was sponsored, the target is to reach out to Onwagrema Nimobodo and be able to see and find out people and what they can work with to build the future that we so desire. So, like I said, and then Onicha Community Primary School. During the BOT meeting, we had shared information that result out. The 2 persons since Yumubu, I think they took 5th and 6th position. And the person in Siamonato, one of them was able to tie up at 5th position. It made up my day. And on that note, I decided to have a very, you know, far-reaching discussion with my wife that we as a family should take up the education of these 3 girls. So, and we've agreed that Anye Jesu from JS1 to SS3. So, aside the scholarship in the OEF, 20,000, 10,000 or whatever, we appreciate, but I am stating this here as a commitment that the 3 persons, the 2 from Umugo Community Primary School, and the other girl from Amanato Community Primary School. I don't know them. I don't know their parents, but we will set up, you know, a system of mentorship whereby someone can reach them. We will cater for their funding from JS1 to SS3 and make sure that they turn out well and become people that will be a pillar and support in building Onicha going forward. Thank you so much.
If you print in thank you so much.
Congratulations
to them and thank you, engineer.
Thank you so much, Engineer, for the wonderful presentation and your contribution to Onicha Education Foundation and Onicha so far. In fact, I would use this opportunity to openly say thank you, Engineer Benison, for even your contribution in my life and my journey through the quest for my master's. I will go ahead and call on Mrs. Caroline Ozo for her presentation. Afterwards, we will give Mr. Martins opportunity to speak to us briefly before we go ahead with other things planned on our agenda. Is Miss Caroline also ready? If she's not, we can take 5 minutes to give
It's
the
like
audience.
she's already talking, but she didn't know that she's muted.
Oh.
I'm seeing her like.
While we
I'm
wait
ready.
for her. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Are you hearing? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Engineer. Okay. God bless you. Presentation. OEF, thank you for the privilege. From Onicha. Hello.
Hello.
I'm Uzo Aronai from Onicha Onicha. Registered nurse midwife in Abakaliki Nurse. Talk about transnational impact of empowering with education. Transgenerational impact of empowering girls with education. And I'm standing on the already existing protocol. This is a very short program to do this presentation.
Miss Caroline, hello, Miss Caroline. Please, is it possible for you to mute, to switch off your video? That way the bandwidth might be higher for us to hear you clearly.
Okay.
You can as well change location.
Okay, you've done that. Hello? Can I continue?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So when we say transgenerational, it means acting across multiple
Hello, Mrs.
generations.
Caroline, are you here with us?
Yes. Yes.
We can hear her. She can go ahead.
Hear her. You can hear her.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Chidima, we can hear her very clearly.
Okay. Clearly. She can go ahead.
Okay. So when we say impact means influence, having a strong effect on someone or something. And when we say empower, to empower is to give someone authority or power to do something. And when we say girls, we mean a female child, a young woman. when we say education is knowledge received through schooling, is a purposeful activity directed at achieving certain aims, such as transmitting knowledge or fostering skills, character, and traits. So education is an essential to prepare a girl child for healthy, safe, and productive transition to adulthood. And unfortunately, too many are not in school, or they are not receiving the quality relevant education in a safe, supportive environment. And why girl child? Why girl child? Why focusing on girl child? Why? Because we are large, we are many in the society, and adolescence is a critical developmental period, and it often comes with challenges for girl child. And girl child also mature faster than boys. And these have developmental and social changes on the girl child. And with girl child also, we also have access to sexual information. We marry early, we begin to bear children early. Girls bear the burden of domestic responsibilities, often having to care for siblings, parents, extended family members, or spending significant amounts of their time on domestic chores. All these have direct consequences for girls' health, education, and economic opportunities. And that was why we are focusing on girl child. Girl child continue to lag behind boys in education attainment in many areas. Just look at before, when you have a good number of maybe 10, 20 professors, hardly can you see a female, two or three. Why? Why is girl child continue to lag behind boys in education attainment in many areas? So we need to focus on girl child empowerment through education. Because why? It will bring sense of worth. You will know your worth when you are educated. As a female, that's why in those days they used to say, ndị nke agara school, ndị awagokwa anya, ndị wara anya, because they know their rights, they know their worth. This is what education will do for a girl child. They will know their rights. They will be able to determine rights, make right choices in life. And they will also have right access to opportunities and resources. We have so many opportunities, so many. It's when you are empowered that you will have access, because it comes with times and conditions. Some of these opportunities comes with times and conditions. So when you are empowered through education, you will be able to access these opportunities. And you will also have power to control your life, both within and outside the home. You will be able to control it because you know your worth. You will be able to control it rightly because you know your worth. And in the process, you will have the ability to influence others. gives sense of directions to others, irrespective of their genders. That is what education can do to girl child. And it's an important process of reaching gender equality. In this our society that is heavily dominated by men, in every sector, men are dominated there. But if the empowering girl child, we make them to reach gender equality. It don't make them responsible in the society. And it's also a tool to a sustainable development. What do you mean by a sustainable development? A sustainable development which meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. Gives girls equal opportunity to participate in economic activity. When we say economic activity, it's not only as a means to earn a living, but also opportunity to challenge many gender stereotypes and discriminations in our society. It's a means to strive for an equitable society, improve voice and participation in political, social, economic spheres of life. Look at what's happened recently between Princess Anne Agomeze and our deputy and our governor. Why? Because the woman is educated. That woman is educated, so she knows her rights and she's for it. We need women at all levels, including the top, to change the conversation, to make sure that women's voices are heard and heeded and not overlooked or ignored. So when women are put into, they used to say that when you train a woman, you have trained a nation. Like many of us, I believe you cannot write your success story with your mother. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, yeah. We hear you. Continue on.
Okay. Your mother can tell all. A woman can sell all she has to train up a child. So when you train a woman, you have trained a nation. And education is like removing a scale, like making a blind person to see. And when a blind person sees, everything will fall into places. Everything will fall into places. So education is like making it, and they say woman. So when a woman is empowered, definitely it will affect that from its children and from there, from generation to generation. So on this note, and I want to thank the organizers. I can see they are also focusing. I don't know much about this, but with the little I spend with you, I can see that you are really focusing on girl child, and I really appreciate that. And I pray that we can do more. In Jesus' name, God will help us. I think I'm through.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A wonderful presentation and highlighting the impact of the girl child in our community. We'll go ahead and give Mr. Martins 5 minutes to actually speak to us briefly. Thank you so much. The audience is yours, Mr. Martins.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. First of all, I have to appreciate the people who are behind this wonderful revolution. I call it a revolution because I'm joining for the first time and I believe it's a maiden meeting and it's really beautiful. My observation, I don't know whether somebody is really taking note of the key discussions, deliverables in this meeting. Even though some decisions have not been reached, but there are some useful discussions that we can build on as we continue. I also want to thank Mr. Nwata for his giant stride. It means that some of the trees we planted many years ago through mentoring are really yielding fruits. I'm really very grateful. We are encouraged to do more. And I also thank you for also cautioning me not to double into it so that we will keep to time. Timing is very important. So I also want to suggest if this time is not okay for so many people, because I'm seeing many people that are opting out because they have other engagements. We can also think of a better time, some other time to arrange the meeting so that we have wider participation and audience, because the discussions are very germane. And when we reach discussions, when we reach some decisions, we should try to have some timelines so that we'll be able to achieve certain things within estimated timelines. Okay. So once again, I'm really grateful. My name is Mwedi Martinuri. I live in Abuja and I work with the Central Bank of Nigeria. And may we continue this engagement, please. May we sustain it so that we network within and without. And we have our brother. It's interesting to find out that we have our brothers all over the place, all over the globe. Ms. Benson, Engineer Benson, thank you very much. This year, we have another person who has gone to do production engineering in one university in Australia. When I was assisting him with how he could get his dollars transferred with payment of school fees from my office, he was asking me whether I knew of other people who are in Australia. I told him I didn't know, but I referred him to my outside friends who are there and who are also doing well. So it's interesting to know that my own brother, Engineer Benson Ovoke, is there, and I have a few others. So thank you once again for this.
Sorry, Uncle Martin. Sorry, Uncle Martin. I hosted him in my home here for 7 days. Abom Patran Airport.
Oh.
Yeah,
great.
For 7 days before the economy. He's doing well.
Very, very.
Yes, he's doing well. Yes.
He's a good boy and he started well. So thank you very much for such a wonderful gesture. And thank you everyone who has made. Thank you, Chidima. We are having beautiful ladies. I must have to comment. I like your voice. I like everything. I like the organization. So please, let's keep on keeping on. And we also network for a lot of things so that we will not even marry our best outside. You may be laughing, but it's very key. And then we will also bring in some people who are, yes, very soon our children will grow. There's something in the case that I will say one day, that if we are not careful, we will not know ourselves and our children we all marry outside. And I don't think it's the best. We will also produce for within and outside too. So it's very important that we network within and outside so that we have a global standing. So thank you very much, and let the conversation continue. And whatever we decide to do, please let's give timelines, and whatever contributions we are making, either in terms of ideas and money, please let's keep committed. All hands may not be equal or are not equal, but whatever thing that we are committed to doing, we will still do it very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martins, for your contribution. And thank you for sticking with us from the beginning till now. We really, really appreciate it. We would go ahead and call on Engineer Chigozie Uneke for the suggestion and feedback session. Would also ask if there are other people that have comments, you can go ahead to send the questions if you do have to me, or you can use the raise hand button and we'll call on you for a brief contribution as well. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please, may I stand on the existing protocols? Nekenesi onye n'ike. Barambo made this day do successful. Ms. Chidima, thank you so much. Members of Board of Trustees, thank you. The social part of the meeting today is unfortunately I watch it through my phone because I was locked out of the office, even on my way to get my laptop there. And where I was talking, the police so I have to leave it with them. So I have to get home. So okay, let me just use my phone. That it will not be wise for me to be completely absent. So yeah, bro, Otodo, Obudo Moto, yeah, engineer. I thank you so much too for the promises. Make this also part of what we propagate, and then believe in other people. We do so. Then advice, Mark, for the Onicha, just like many people for that name, other people may want this type of program. I'm surprised nobody only mentioned Onicha Elite. I had that one before the other two groups that Ogunwachiku mentioned. So all of them tried. So in Chanwike, especially in terms of education, and they failed at the point. I really believe that Nipe mere lack of cooperation, and as that a problem known is partly solved. So now the issue. I am believing that the issue, not a problem to us again. I therefore call on all these stakeholders, invite in this program, the informal organization which I am part of. That mindset of that we get what we want without stopping. For me, I will not go back. I might not be an orator. I might not speak enticing words, but I have a heavy heart. And in this organization, I will prove it. I don't have much money in my pocket, but I believe so much that the late Umwere, from my conviction that no way anything enemy Onicha to move forward, especially as education is concerned, in this platform, may be able part and parcel. So I thank you so much, everyone. Engineer Onwe, and Mr. Edward, ndị nọ n'Unuhu na ahazi this program. I greet you all. God will reward you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Uneke, for the wonderful presentation. We really, really appreciate. We'll give Engineer Chukuma the audience to us briefly, and then we'll continue down to MC Obvious.
Thank you very much. The only thing Cholifu, email apology to Oga Martin for interjecting him. And the reason he made that Mama that your name was not showing there. And it's not as if your name they show you. Nah, I wouldn't have made that appeal. So the essence of the interjection is to make sure now a progress in orderly manner. And that was why I also appealed even to the BOT members and other members, to really allow the way the program has been, designed to run in a more harmonious way. Everybody must be heard. That's the principle. But everybody must not be heard at the same time. So apologies for the caution. It was supposed to be a kind of a redirection. And please, I hope you accept my apologies. That's just what I want to say. Everybody must be heard.
Very well accepted.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Please raise your hand. Chidima will call on you and you give your comment. Thank you so much.
Sorry, also, I would want to call our attention that we had gone far beyond the time of the program so that we are able to manage whatever we have in a speedy manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Humphrey Okereke. We appreciate your contribution and
engagement. I want to thank our team speaker, and the standing team speaker for that wonderful presentation. I want to thank my friend Oga, Chief Dr. Owose. So this time I have time, I go to his office, and gain knowledge and taking something for myself. I want to thank, in short, all the speakers that have honored the teaching of OEF and came to enrich us today with this knowledge. Also, I want to thank my own elder brother, Martin. As you were mentioning, I can assure you that everything, all the proceedings of today have been well documented. What this is recorded. From the point of OEF, everything that has been said is well synthesized and then take care all the things that we need to enrich our people. One thing that is sure is that OEF is committed, and then this thing, as our elder is not going to die in our hands. It's something that, just as Jesse also mentioned, it's something that it doesn't belong to us, it belongs to the community, and we are conscious running the foundation in such a way that it's not going to be determined by any person. We are sure that there is no politics involved in it. We are sure that every of our activities, Lord, all geared to making sure that Onicha is empowered, educational, and developed in that manner. So, in a nutshell, I want to thank all of us again for making our time today to come and discuss those issues that pertain to the goodness of Onicha. And we can only be sure that God is with us. And as God is with us, the future of Onicha is going to be far, far better than what it is today. by the next edition of this, our report will show that we have been far beyond where we are today by the grace of God and by all the activities, maybe the awards, the people now support OEF with their finances. We thank you all, those people that are here and those that are not here. Thank them very much. And we ask that God will continue to provide for them so that they will be able to support this Onicha cause higher than. Thank you and God bless all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Engineer Henry, for the wonderful vote of thanks. And you can for being here and making our time. Please, please, and please, for limited time, ndị nwere ajụjụ ma nwe ife ha chọrọ ifu maka ọganiru Onicha Education Foundation. Please send the comments, email, or messages either to me in the chat box or to the general email for Onicha Education Foundation. You can reach out to most members on Facebook. If peradventure you're not able to get the email address, just to send your input. Your input is very important and vital to the growth of the foundation. I'll go ahead and give Dr. Nathaniel Obasi 1 minute to make his suggestion, comments, question. I'm not sure what it is at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much, Chidinma. I just want to, thank every one of us who have tried to participate in today's meeting. I know it's not really easy, but at least in the midst of our tight schedules, we have been able to be part of it. This meeting is really the second time, the second OEF community interaction. The one we had last year, some of the people I met, I was meeting them for the first time. And today again, I'm also meeting so many of our people for the first time. Some of our prominent people, I didn't even know them before now. So this is what this program has been able to do. And by the grace of God, this OEF has come to stay. A lot of us who are devoted to it, not because we are interested in politics or in contesting for one position or the other in Ebonyi State or in Onicha tomorrow, but we are just driven by that passion to make a difference in our own time. And God helping us, just as some people noted, that so many groups have started and died. By the grace of God, God is behind this one. It will not die. We will follow it up. We will do it and do it well, and it will be successful. So I want to thank every one of us, every one of you who have participated. God helping us. Subsequently, we'll be able to see how we can do it so that a lot of people will. As some people were talking here, I was wishing we had 1,000 Onicha people who are listening. It would have been more like setting fire on everybody's heart to see what we can do to change our people, to do something good. So, but thank God for having started. We are heading somewhere. We will not be stopped by anything. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to Chidinma for the wonderful coordination and all of that. You've done wonderfully well. Thanks to every one of you, Chukuma, the coordinator, Benison, and so many of you there, and including Oga Martins. Thank you too for following us to the end. God bless every one of you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Datan.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate on behalf of Onicha Education Foundation for your contribution as well to the growth of the foundation. I will give 2 minutes MC Obvious to speak to us briefly.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sincerely, I want to once again register my appreciation to this foundation. I'm super proud of everyone here. And of course, by the grace of God, the mission that has been given birth to, I'm proud of it. Because within the few months of the existence of this very foundation, I in particular, I have been inspired, even my academic career. And some person that I invited to this group, I've been hearing good news from them. and we are proud of you guys. I know most of you in persons, and from now till tomorrow, I will always be proud of you. But when I come now, like this morning, when I got one of the centers, Onicha Technical School, the turn-up was not encouraging. As in, I felt the pain. Yeah, primary school most depend on I was disturbed. Well, as we have some persons in secondary school, I know can invite. What is the next move to get this person, these people into this moving train? And it has been bothering me. That is the question I want to ask. Say our brothers, sisters, in the secondary school, because they are the next into the higher institution. So if there's any other step to get them involved, the Z, we are not seeing the Z in most of our brothers and sisters. Thank you so much. That is just the. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, MC Obvious, for your observation. I guess it's part of what we'll discuss at the brainstorming meeting at Onicha Education Foundation, but for limited time, it might not be addressed here. But I will give Engineer Chukwuma Obonna a little time to speak to us before our closing prayer.
Just to say that there will be a network session after this closing prayer. We'll stop the recording. If you want to stay and chat, just feel free to stay back and chat and know other persons better, okay? But let's close formally so that Ndi and you can now stay back for network. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Is Chukwuma not available? Another person can pray. Yeah, but no, I'm not available.
Anyị metie anyị okene Chineke. Anyị ekpe n'efa Jizọs.
Amen.
Chineke anyị na-ekene onye mere so anyị mitin anyị interactive station anyị n'udo na ọṅụ. Anyị na-ekenekwa ndị niile mere ha efere anyị ofu adụnụ. Mee ndị ike ndị iche iche hi n'ime ha efu anyị na-asụ gbajuo ha n'ike. Gụnye ha amamife karịa nke ha nweta so that mgbe ọzọ anyị ji ime mitin ese ha efukwari karịa. Anyị na-ewekọkwara Onicha Education Foundation na-eti ọneka na-asụ ndị ji nye anyị ike so anyị meet ya all of our objectives and that n'ikpeazụ sefọ na anụ bụrụ ife ji ibu n'elu n'efa Jizọs Kraịst mgbe ọ dị na-efere anyị.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Thank you so much, everybody.